Okay. All right. Afternoon, ladies. Afternoon, afternoon. I'm
Good
excited.
afternoon.
I really am excited. I'm so happy to be able to meet you all in person. I purposefully only glanced at your responses to some of the questions that I wanted to ask you because I wanted to hear them fresh. You
Okay.
know, I didn't want to remember everything that you said. So I will be posing questions to you this afternoon. I'm so thrilled that you each agreed to take this time to let our volunteers and a lot of our staff know about this great program that you all developed. I mean, it just sounds, like, forgive the cliche, but it really is like, reminds me of the era that I grew up in the 50s with, Hollywood on display. So I saw the photographs that you emailed me, Brenda, and they were outstanding. And I could tell just from the still photographs that everybody had a wonderful, wonderful time. So let's get started. I'm going to be asking all of you questions back and forth kind of individually, but I did want to start with you, Brenda, just getting an idea of how long you've been doing this. I mean, share with us, a little bit about your background coming to AARP.
Okay. Well, I am a former resident of the state of Michigan and moved to Arizona about 15 years ago. And so now I'm a permanent resident of Arizona. And when I came to Arizona in the beginning, I used to work for Big Brothers Big Sisters of Central Arizona in HR. So people have always been my passion. I spent about 5 years with Big Brothers, and then I transitioned to PetSmart corporate charities because animals are also another passion. So I was with
Oh,
them for a couple.
wow.
I was with them for a couple of years, and then one day on my lunch hour, I went to renew my membership with AARP, and here I sit some 10 years later. Okay. And so I am the current Associate State Director of Community Outreach. And primarily that is my main focus. I cover Maricopa County, which is one of the largest counties in Arizona, as far as my activities. So that's my path that led me to AARP and again, community. It's always been about community, reaching the people, and I can't do any of the things that I do without having an excellent team of volunteers. And you're sitting with two of the finest that I have right here today.
I believe that. I believe that. So before we get into talking about the event that prompted us to want to interview all of you, your red carpet event, let me hear from you, Tanya. How long have you been volunteering and what caught your attention to do this?
I've been volunteering, I'd say probably for the last 20 years, volunteering probably the first 10 in San Diego with the All About the Kids. So that was a priority, trying to raise funds for them. And then started here with AARP probably about 8 or 9 years ago, and working with Brenda, and it's been great.
I believe you. I believe you. And Leslie, tell us more about you and your volunteer journey.
I was a special education teacher for 36 years. And when I stopped, I suddenly really needed to fill my schedule that had been jam-packed for the last 3.5 decades, and was looking for a volunteer opportunity and found AARP and their movies, and started volunteering for the movies for grown-ups, and then eventually became the lead for that program in Phoenix, and whatever else Brenda needs me to do. I also volunteer for a pet rescue, and I'm in a volunteer community choir.
Oh, wow. So two pet lovers, in addition to all the things you do with people, and volunteer choir. What do you sing?
It's a senior choir, but we travel around the United States, and we also have traveled to Europe. We were going to go to Carnegie Hall in 2019 or 2020, but everything fell apart when COVID hit. And we do patriotic, we do Christmas, we do gospel, we do all of it.
Oh, wow. Wonderful. And what a blessing that you are able to continue to sing. I was trying to sing something with my church choir. I was sitting in the congregation, I'm not a member of the choir, and it was a familiar song. I still think I'm soprano. And when the note came up, my voice in my head, but it did. Anyway, so it's a blessing that you can continue to sing. That is great. That is great. So Tanya, do you also have some other outside hobbies and activities besides the volunteering?
Yes, I'm also the volunteer portal trainer for Arizona. So I do trainings for the different locations throughout Arizona, and I'm a large region. So I help with a lot of other states that are doing different trainings, and do a lot of presentations that way.
Okay.
And caregiving. I do a caregiving presentation.
Ooh. That and caregiving is a whole. Whew, okay. My hat's off to all of you ladies, because clearly you've got very busy schedules outside of the volunteering that you're doing just with AARP. You've got these other projects that you're working on as a volunteer. So bravo, bravo. Brenda, back to you. Let's dive into this wonderful event. And do I have the title correct? That it was called the Red Carpet?
That's it. The Red Carpet Return. Yep.
Red Carpet Return.
Red
I like
Carpet
that.
Return. Yes.
I like
Red
that.
Carpet Return.
So tell our listeners more about what you wanted to accomplish with that and how you came up with that title and theme.
So, we had been in this weird space of COVID for the last couple of years. Every month we were meeting, of course, by Zoom, and that was okay. We could not wait to be back in person with one another because we also enjoy each other's company. So when thinking about what way that I could welcome everyone back, I actually said a prayer, and I just asked for some inspiration of what I could do to make it very special, for the volunteers returning. And right away, this thought came: Red Carpet Return, Red Carpet Return. And the first thing I did was I went to Amazon and I ordered some red carpet. That was the first thing I did. I ordered some red carpet. And then the event just began to take shape. I didn't share it with anybody what I was doing. And then I went and I started to get all of the decorations. And then I started to, look at, okay, what kind of agenda did I want to have? I looked at what type of a meal that I wanted to welcome them back with. I decorated the room with goodies for them when everybody had like candy on the table when they came back, because we like to munch during meetings. And we had new shirts because we got the new branding now. So I had put a shirt on the back of every chair. Every chair had a goodie bag, and I just went through and just decorated the room in that AARPC of red color. And then things just again started to just take shape. And I was like, hey, wait a minute, I'm on to something at Red Carpet Return. And I didn't tell them anything, but when they showed up to our office, instead of having them come in the front door, we had them kind of come down this long hallway in the back. And we had the door open, and I had this big welcome sign and some balloons and things waiting. And then as they proceeded, they could walk down the red carpet. Okay. When they came into the room, the reaction of their faces. So it was a culmination of being excited to be back, together. But I don't think they were expecting that they were going to have such a warm reception coming back into the office. And so that's basically, how it got started. And then I said, okay, what else could I do to engage them to see what thoughts and feelings that they're having right now, still dealing with what we're dealing with. So we did a listening post. And we talked
Mhm.
about what happened during COVID. We talked about what happened after COVID. We talked about how everyone was feeling, what was their level of comfort even being with each other. Some decided they wanted to wear masks, some said they didn't, but we went through all the protocols that we needed to do to make that happen. And we had a wonderful lunch, a wonderful time, just a wonderful time of engaging with one another. People were hugging that they hadn't seen each other, in the last 2 years. And my heart was just filled. My heart was just really full, rather, when I saw that just a simple idea of bringing people back together under a celebrity type circumstance, because to me, they're my celebrities, whether they know it or not, they're my celebrities. And then I shared it with the powers that be in a sense, and it's just kind of taken on a life of its own. So we're glad that,
I love it. That is excellent. Excellent. So, Leslie, were you surprised with this? I mean, how?
Brenda always comes up with something very clever. Now I hear that she's praying on it, and it's coming to her through there. It doesn't surprise me. She always comes up with something great. We always have great meetings and great experiences when we're meeting with Brenda. And it was a lot of fun to walk down that red carpet. I was like, look, I'm a star. It was fun.
Everybody is a star. I love it. I love it. How about you, Tanya? Did she really grab you by surprise, or you kind of thought?
Yep, it was really fun because the red carpet in the first place, but we also had a little paparazzi action going on, and all the banners and the decorations from the room. It was really good.
I like that. I like that. So, are you thinking that since this was such a huge success, that you might do something similar annually, or you haven't gotten that far?
I haven't gotten that far, but I am, like Leslie said, I'm always coming up with something else. And so now that, I've done that, I want to see what else I could do. I want to see what other, creativity I can come up with as far as honoring them, keeping them engaged, and making all of our time spent together very special. So I'm looking to top this. Now, how am I going to do that? I haven't figured that out yet. I guess I'll go back in prayer. But I'm looking for, because I'm kind of like, okay, we've done that now. So let's see what else. What can I do to enhance this? This process. I've got some things kind of I'm thinking about, but nothing right now that I can just say definitively that I'm ready to roll out right at the moment.
I follow you. I follow you. You got to pray over it, like you said.
You got it.
So you all meet once a month or once a week? How
once
often
a month.
You meet once a month?
Once a month. Correct.
And I'm guessing you've already started planning like a holiday celebration?
I have. They haven't. I'm in the process.
You're in the process. That's kind of what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay, I won't ask you to reveal any of those.
Right, my secrets. Yeah, my
secrets about that. But
my secrets.
okay.
But I am already working on that.
Okay, I'm absolutely not surprised. I'm not surprised. And prayerfully, by that time, you'll have even more volunteers that will be willing to come in person.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, do you all do any recruiting of other volunteers?
Well, I did not recruit or haven't recruited during COVID. Simply because I felt that the in-person experience is far greater, than bringing someone, onboarding someone during the virtual environment. I'm looking in January to actually do a recruiting kickoff. And I'll share this with these two ladies because they are my leads. I am looking to do the bring a friend type of recruitment activity to see if we can, garner up some more volunteers, as well as I'd like to now break off and have some more subcommittees. Leslie is an awesome crafter. And so we've done a gnome project. So I would love for her to continue, to do that. Leslie spearheaded our book club. We got a book club that we had. And so I'd like to start exploring some more ideas that way as far as committees, having various committees that work on just various projects. And so that's going to take more volunteers. And you figure if you ask somebody to bring a friend, chances are they have the same like mind. So that's what
true.
I'm looking to do.
Excellent, excellent. I got it. I got it. Before we leave this red carpet topic, red carpet return topic, anything that you want specific that you'd like to share so that other volunteers who might want to copy this would know what to do?
Well, first of all, they could reach out to me and I could, just
Okay.
kind of give them some ideas of how I went about it, and they could put their own spin on it. But what I would say is to always be conscious of thinking outside of the box. Okay, that, don't get just so regimented on following a certain process or procedure. Look for other ways that it's not only engaging, but it's inviting, it's entertainment. And it is something that you can look back on later on and also be proud of. And I'd also like to mention that as a result of, I said this kind of took a life of its own, AARP does the quarterly state, community, and national report, which is called CSN.
Mhm.
And we get these reports, and everybody in the organization gets a chance to, see what we've done as far as our dashboard goals, if we're meeting them. We were on the cover of the report. I had no idea. Yeah, we were on the cover, as well as then they captured our group photo, down below with the write-up of, of how we brought back volunteers. So just be creative and just think outside the box, and just know that no idea is a crazy idea. Just, unless it's really crazy, but, for the most part, just think out of the box and just think. I always kind of work from the premise of what would I want to see?
Mhm.
Okay. And that's kind of how I operate. Even when I buy somebody a gift, what would I want to receive?
Mhm.
Therefore, that kind of gives me something to kind of work with, that I want it to be of something of excellence. I don't work in mediocrity. I never have, and thank God we never will. But I'm always looking for the next thing to do. What else? What else? What else? So just continue to, and then ask your volunteers. Your volunteers. You work with them on a regular basis. Start even soliciting your volunteers for various ideas, because you'd be surprised some of the things they could come up with. Book clubs, gnome projects, letter writing campaigns, which is, I'm sure you're in North Carolina and the various offices, we're all doing very unique activities. And a lot of times they are state specific. But in this case, we just thought the red carpet return was a way to bring back the Arizona volunteers.
I absolutely agree. And it certainly is something that is highly recognizable, that kind of recognition and celebration. And I think it could be duplicated in other states, for
Okay.
sure.
Well, make sure you share that out. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Well, that's part of why we wanted to do this podcast.
Okay.
To get the word out there that you had such a successful event. And of course, the name pretty much says it all, but we wanted people to hear some of the details and how you arrived at this. But this is exciting. I mean, it really is. Absolutely. Just a couple of more questions that I think will be of interest to our audience. And a question that I always like to ask, no matter who I'm interviewing. But the first one is, if each of you would share a particular experience that you've had as a volunteer with AARP that is just so memorable that when you think of those good feeling experiences, this is the one that jumps into your mind. I'll let whoever wants to start.
Can't hear you, Tanya.
I said, go ahead, Leslie.
Oh, well, in June of 2019, my husband and I are leads for Movies for Grown-Ups, and we were showing the Beatles movie yesterday. And our habit is to, at the end of the movie, it was a great movie. We had security there. We had a promotion analyst. We had a representative from the company, and it was a great movie. And it is our habit to rush out right at the very end of the movie so we can take a clicker count and thank the guests for coming. And we were standing there, had the doors open, about 20 people came out. The theater was packed. It had 150 people and it was completely full. Only 20 people came out. So we waited, and then we got worried that something had happened. So we rushed back in there. There were 130 people sitting in the dark singing Hey Jude during the credits. And I welled up. I had goosebumps on my arms, and it was an extremely heartwarming experience. And they weren't in any hurry to leave. They waited till the complete song was done and there was no more music. And then they got up and we thanked them for coming. It was quite an experience.
Yeah, I can see you welling up over that, because even hearing the story, gives me goosebumps. I mean, yeah, that's special. That's special. Yeah. And it's the kind of thing, we never know how an audience is going to respond to something,
Yeah.
Wow. What about you, Tanya?
I would say a couple of years back, I went on a road trip with Brenda to Sierra Vista, and we did an event there. And it was a large event. There were lots of people, a lot of interactions. I met some great people, and turns out my aunt lives there and was able to come out, and that was a great time having them come out and be a part of an event that we were doing for ARP. It was a good event.
Good.
That was a 5-hour road trip.
Yes.
5 hours there and 5 hours back. So, and the event. So, yes.
I think it was a 2-dayer.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, because we stayed the night. Yeah, we did.
Wow. So that's a reminder that none of us ever get too old for a fun road trip with our girls, right? I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Wow. Do you have a particular fond memory, Brenda?
Man, I have too many. Being with ARP for 10 years, I've just, seen how we've evolved as an organization, and just some of the creative things that even ARP itself has come up with. But I think a fond memory for me would probably be I hosted a couch concert with Kenny Lattimore.
Ooh, go ahead,
Okay,
girlfriend.
yes. We hosted November of 2021. We did a 1-hour couch concert with him, and he had a new album coming out. So we got a chance to listen to, the old music, and then we got a chance to hear all of the new music. And it was during Caregiver Month, and he's a caregiver for his dad. So the whole theme of everything, he engaged with the audience. He talked about his caregiver journey. He and I were able to engage back and forth, and he's a very nice guy, just not to mention he's easy on the eyes, but he was a really, he's a consummate performer. So that had to be a fond memory. But out of the scope of that, during the pandemic, we were made aware that there were 13 senior centers down in Tuba City, Arizona, that were closed because of COVID, meaning that the seniors could not get hot meals. So we got together with those 13 senior centers. We got together with Amazon, because all they were missing were the food containers to deliver the food. That's all they were missing. And as a result of that, I was able to coordinate the efforts between the 13 senior centers and Amazon, and we were able to provide meals for 5,834 people. That is by far, to me, one of my greatest activities, accomplishments, and memories, because I can put my head on a pillow at night and rest knowing that not only the seniors were fed, but also their families were fed. So for me right now, that's probably top of mind outside of Kenny Lattimore. But I just have so many memories because I get to do this great work. I'm in the community every day, touching the people, touching my community partners, to see how ARP can enhance the lives of those that we serve. So all of them are great memories. And again, having a team of just volunteers that I can just ask. Sometimes I don't even have to ask. They already know me well enough to know, okay, she's gonna want this, or can I bring this? Or they show up with stuff. Here, I thought about you. I brought this, and usually it's something that I need. So those warm my heart, and those just give me, they just give me the push and the drive and the motivation to keep doing the work that I'm doing, because I also know that I'm walking in my purpose.
Ooh, definitely, definitely. Wow, that is amazing. Absolutely amazing. They're all such great stories, and I know that you have tons more, but thank you for sharing those. And the other thing I like about these stories is they're quantitative. I mean, you're able to actually talk about numbers and lives
impacted. Yes.
precisely. Precisely.
Mhm.
That is wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. So as we wind down, I just have one final question that I really like to ask almost in every situation that I find myself in when I'm asking questions. And that is there anything that you wanted me to ask you and I didn't have the whatever chutzpah presence of mind, cognitive ability, whatever adjectives you all want to put in there? Is there anything that you would have wanted me to ask you that I didn't ask?
Of all of the other state offices that you could have chosen, and outside of it being this red carpet event, what was it about Arizona that drew you to us?
Excellent question.
Okay.
And I can only answer it from what I understand, because Lillian and Tara actually are the ones who approached you,
right.
and then they tapped me on the shoulder and volunteered me for this great assignment. But I am delighted with it. I'm so glad. But I really believe it was seeing this information in one of the publications, and maybe even the one that you mentioned, Brenda, and it grabbed the attention of both Tara and Lillian, that they thought, if anybody missed this, we need to include it in our Roost News.
Okay.
So people could see faces and hear voices and all that good stuff, not just,
Okay.
So.
Well, we're glad that you chose us, and now you're on our radar. So don't be surprised if we don't come calling to engage you again in an opportunity. We would love to come up with something that we could partner on, collaborate on, duplicate. Okay, so keep us in mind. Please do that.
For sure, for sure. Well, ladies, this has been absolutely thoroughly enjoyable for me. Thank you for making this easy for me, for preventing me from being camera shy and stage fright and all that good stuff. You all did a great job, and I'm most grateful and appreciative. So on behalf of the Roost News, we'll conclude our interview, and we'll look forward to the next time we can meet and share information, and maybe even be somewhere where we can break bread together.
Absolutely.